This meeting of the Southfield Public School Board of Education is called to order. Thank you. This meeting is a meeting of the Southfield Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is time, however, for public participation during the meeting as indicated on the agenda on item number 7. This evening, Mr. Royal Byrd will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening once again to the community at large, viewing, and to the individuals here in the room. My name is Rance Williams, and I'm the president of the board.
Yolanda Charles, Vice President.
Nathaniel Lewis, Board Trustee.
Daryl B. Joyce, Board Trustee.
Danae Spears, and I'm a student representative.
Ariel Ginyard, and I'm also a student representative.
Royal Byrd, Student Representative, University.
Brianna Boyd, Student Representative, Southfield High School.
Linda Wood, Superintendent.
Vicki Hall, Associate Superintendent of Human Resources.
Derek Lopez, Associate Superintendent for Instructional Services and School Performance.
And with that, we had a trustee just walk in, once she gets situated.
Leslie Love Smith, trustee.
And then Ms. Robinson and Mr. Poole will be here shortly. We have working our audio and studio, our technicians tonight are Mr. Mike Madigan, Marlita Gamble, and Jeff Woka. We have taken notes for us tonight, our minutes tonight is Ms. Nicole Christian, and we have Ms. Paulette Gardner and Ron Slade working the video presentations and things of that for us. Board, a closed session will be held at the end of this meeting to discuss legal matters with the superintendent and the cabinet. I'll move right into staff recognition. Donovan Rogers, an 8th grade student at MacArthur K-8 University Academy, was selected to participate on a national concert tour with award-winning musical artist Josh Groban. Donovan is here to share more information. Donovan, go to the mic,
Go to the
podium.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good evening.
My name is Donovan Rogers. I'm 13, and I go to MacArthur K-8 University Academy. Recently, I have been invited by the Mosaic Youth Theater in Detroit to go sing along with 19 other students out of the 64 students in the program to go sing for award-winning Josh Groban in 3 of his cities for his world tour for stages. We performed in the USA, and it's all finished now. We performed, the 3 cities we performed in were Pittsburgh on the 17th, September 17th. We performed in Detroit on October 9th, and we performed in Cleveland on October 10th. So we're just coming back. It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. It's very surreal to be 13 and doing something as great as performing next to Josh Groban, and I'm very proud of myself, and it's a very, very great and wonderful blessing. So
Amen.
Thanks so much for sharing it with me.
And Donovan, are your parents here with you tonight?
My parents are right over there.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hands.
Please.
This way, to the front. Shake their hand. Say anything? Okay. Come to the mic. Come on to the mic. All right.
TV Children, what's going to happen this week for you? Because you've already been in the extensive. They did a wonderful article this week. You might want to share.
Mr. Lopez, can you take a mic?
Well, okay, I'm back. Okay, so this week I will be going to an interview for Channel 7 WXYZ, and I'll be talking about my experience with Josh Groban on the news. It's gonna be early, around 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So yeah, tune in.
Miss Brianna Moore, a 12th grade student at University High School Academy, is a semifinalist for the 2016 National Merit Scholarship Program. She is the only student from Southfield Public Schools to qualify for this level of scholarship. Yes, trying to hide from us.
That's fabulous.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So yeah, I took the PSAT last fall, and apparently it qualified me for the National Merit Scholarship. I'm only a semifinalist, and I won't know if I'm a finalist until February. So hopefully that turns out well, and I'll definitely let you all know how it goes. So
All
thanks a
right,
lot.
excellent, excellent job. Best of luck to you. Our very own Southfield High School Marching Band received a Division I Superior rating from the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association and an overall Grand Champion Award at the recent Ohio Marching Band Competition. Their principal, Ms. Sonia Jackson, and instructor, Christopher Kuhn, are here with more information.
Got the little one with me today.
That's okay.
These kids work so hard, and honestly, one of the people who works incredibly hard with them is Mr. David Miller, who does so much with this band and really is the reason why they're so successful. You know, I help out and do what I can for them and instruct them to the best of my ability. But David really has known the ins and outs of this program for a long time and has been just an incredible person for these kids and has done a wonderful job. You hear him. You hear him every day from 3 to 6, and they work harder, I think, and hey, this might just be my bias, but they work harder than any group in the school district, you know, and it shows in the way that they perform, in the way that they carry themselves. Yes. They represent our school district and Southfield High School with incredible professionalism, and I can't say enough about these kids. They're outstanding, and they have deserved probably more than what they've gotten. And we're just really excited to represent the state of Michigan now in the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. this spring. And just to throw it out there, if anybody would like to make donations to make it easier on our kids, we can put you in touch with our boosters for that. But again, Mr. Miller does a phenomenal job with these kids, and they work extremely hard. So really, they do it. We just get to watch and listen and enjoy what they do. So thank you very much.
Really quickly, my name is Brianna Cross. I'm the head drum major. We really do work so hard. Like over the summer, we do basically school hours practicing so long for all these competitions. And this year, it's really important for us to make sure we go out with a bang, because this will be Southfield High's last year. So I'm just really proud of my band and what we've accomplished so far, and I'm so glad that we are able to do what we do.
My name is Monica Harper. I am the band captain of the Southfield High School Marching Band. And to be honest, I'm really not worried about this program ending, because I know everyone in here sees how hard we work and see the outcome, like trophy after trophy, and the pride we all have. Like, I'm not worried at all.
That's right. That's right.
It is not even us, like Mr. Miller, Mr. Kuhn, and their assistants during band camp, they all work hard with us. So it's not just us alone, they all help us. Like, it's an amazing experience, and I enjoy doing this for the 4 years that I have been here. So, yeah.
Yeah. And as they come around, just know, community, that the band isn't going anywhere. The building that they are around isn't going anywhere. We're just going to have one high school, and we're going to combine all the band members from those high schools together.
Yes.
Great job.
Absolutely.
Great job. Good job. All right.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Good job. Keep up the good work. All right. Good work.
Let me see. Let me grab it.
And if any of the high school marching band parents are in the audience, would you please stand? And the band boosters, thank you very much. All that you do. Thank you very much. Melissa Schellenbarger, a Spanish instructor at University High School Academy, was a recipient of the Sierra Chevrolet Teacher of the Month Award. She is unable to attend tonight, but we have a video clip of her receiving the award.
Sarah Chevrolet is proud to recognize the hardworking people in the communities they serve with the Sarah Chevrolet Community Awards. The first Teacher of the Month award was given to Melissa Schellenbarger, a Spanish teacher from Southfield University High School Academy. A dedicated and enthusiastic teacher, she has been at Southfield for 7 years, and over the years has supported the learning community by serving as a virtual learning coach, testing coordinator, and class sponsor. It is leadership like Miss Schellenbarger's that makes our communities special here in Michigan, and Sarah Chevrolet is happy to recognize her commitment to Southfield University High School Academy.
Melissa, congratulations. On behalf of Sarah Chevrolet, we'd like to present you with your outstanding performance as the Sarah Chevrolet's Teacher of the Month, so thank you very much. And along with that, Sarah Chevrolet wants to give you one complete vehicle detail on your current car. We'll change your oil for you, we'll fill up your tank of gas, and while we're doing this, for the weekend, you can use one of our courtesy vehicles. So anytime that's convenient for you, let us know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I feel very honored and flattered. Also, I feel very privileged to work at such a nice school with good students and a wonderful staff. I think that is just phenomenal that they're working with the community and making Southfield Public Schools known to the Southfield community and to other communities.
Congrats to our Sarah Teacher of the Month, and thanks for sticking with us here on Extra Point. Sarah Chevrolet is proud to
Once again, congratulations. We will now have the report of the student board representatives, and this is in line with our strategic plan goals number 4. So we'll first start off with Ms. Boyd from Southfield High School.
to the Board of Education, Superintendent, Administrators, staff members, and community. My name is Brianna Boyd, and here's the Blue Jay Report. Southfield High School held its final homecoming Saturday, October 3rd. The dance and homecoming festivities for the entire week were hosted by Southfield Student Congress, and we had 812 students buy tickets and participate. Southfield alum from 2006, DJ BJ was our DJ, and Southfield, I'm cold. Southfield Student Congress has a big community service event coming up called Boo at the Berg, and the members of SSE will help assist with a haunted house and distribute candy to children. This event is Friday, October 16th from 6 to 9:30, October 17th, 1:30 to 5, and 6 to 9:30. Southfield High students are taking pride in our school every Friday, Southfield Spirit Day, and we wear Southfield apparel or anything that says Southfield High or has the Southfield logo. The Southfield J News team celebrates their 63rd year of publication with issue 1 of our junior. Our juniors are preparing for the SAT by taking their PSAT tomorrow, October 14th from 8 to 11 a.m. Southfield will be hosting its annual college fair on Thursday, October 15th from 8 to 11 a.m. October 9th by a score over 55 colleges and universities will be attending. Sorry, guys. Congrats to our Southfield High football team. The Blue Jays defeated Rochester High School on October 9th by a score of 42-0, bringing the Blue Jay record to 5-2, assuring the Blue Jays their 9th consecutive winning season. The Jay Gritters line up against rival Oak Park this Friday at 6 to solidify their spot in their 5th consecutive playoff appearance. The Blue Jay Marching Band competed at the MSBOA band competition on October 7th and earned all superior ratings. The Jays take their show on the road to Miles College for homecoming this weekend. I would like to thank you again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to represent my school to the Board of Education. It is an honor and a privilege to serve this capacity. Let's go, Blue Jays.
Mr. Bird from University High School Academy.
Good evening. I'm Royal Bird and a junior at University High School Academy, and here is the Eagle report for UPrep and University High School Academy. The NHS application period closed on October 2nd. We're now preparing for our induction ceremony in November. On October 8th concluded our fall map testing period. Map testing, again, our next map testing period will be in January for our winter session of map testing. Tomorrow, Wednesday, October 14th, all students grades 8 through 11 will take the preliminary SAT. So wish us luck on that. Me as well, because I'll be taking it. Students have prepared diligently for this test through Khan Academy since June, so we look forward to high scores. On October 16th, University High School Academy sophomores will attend Lawrence Tech for a career expo. Student Congress, comprised of both UPrep and University High School Academy, will kick off our new mentoring initiative called Big U, Little U, where upperclassmen will be able to interact with underclassmen in various capacities as far as academics, lifestyle, and things of that nature. The UHSA debate team will compete at Wayne State University on October 23rd and the 24th. UHSA juniors who have maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher through their first 4 semesters will receive their academic letter on October 26th in an assembly with Dean Williams. The academic letter will look like this. I am proud to have one of these. It'll look like this. Parent-teacher conferences are on October 28th and 29th. And we would also like to congratulate a few students at the U. Again, as mentioned earlier, we are proud of Brianna Moore, a senior at university, and as she received a national merit, as she's a semifinalist for a national merit scholarship. Also, Mitchell Cook, Autumn Davis, and Jason No were inducted into Oakland University's Honors Band. Many of UHSA's students participated in the Southfield High School MSBOA Marching Band Festival, and we would like to congratulate them as well as the Southfield High Band as a whole. And also, over 20 11th graders were accepted into University of Michigan's Gear Up Saturday Scholar Academy. So we will also like to congratulate them on their acceptance. On another note, another congratulations, just congratulations all around. On another note, we would like to congratulate Mr. Harry Patton, who is in attendance, Mr. Patton over there, on being promoted to Assistant Dean. Absolutely. And also, lastly, students are in the process right now of planning university's first ever 5K, which will be held in the spring. We are planning it now, so look forward to that. And as always, the application for UPrep is on the school's website through Southfield Public Schools. Just go right on there if you're interested in applying to UPrep. Thank you for your time. This is the Eagle Report. I am Royal Bird.
Very good. Ms. Moore, Brianna, are your parents or guardians here? Would they please rise to be recognized? I'm so sorry. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, thank you. Our next student board representative is Ms. Ginyard from Southfield Lathrop High School.
Hello, my name is Ariel Ginyard. I'm a senior at Southfield Lathrop High School, and this is the Charger Report. Good evening to all the school board members and to all the Southfield and Lathrop Village community residents. The Student Congress did a great job with this year's final homecoming festivities. Our theme was all around the world, incorporating North America for the seniors, Europe for the juniors, Africa for the sophomores, and Asia for the freshmen. Each day was giving a special theme: Monday, Safari Day; Tuesday, Flag Day; Wednesday, Islanders Day; Thursday, Class Continent Day; and Friday, Super Lathrop Day. They hosted several class competitions, including a hall decorating contest and musical chairs. Along with that, Student Congress put together a wonderful talent showcase for our homecoming court candidates. Our pep rally was held on Friday, featuring a special dance performance from our SL teachers and staff. Along with the junior class of 2017, Student Congress members prepared the homecoming dance Friday night. To top off the weekend, Saturday was the parade and football game against Pontiac High School. All four of Lathrop's past principals were present: Mr. Jim Smith, Mr. Todd Henderson, Mrs. Marcia Williams, and Mr. Joseph Spizak. Alumni dating back to 1973 were present as well. Also in attendance, board members Betty Robinson, Leslie Love Smith, as well as Mrs. Christian, Mr. Lopez, Ms. Robinson, Mr. Chap, and Ms. Banks. Student Congress members are now preparing for their new members meeting tomorrow and Student Leadership Conference at Oakland schools. They will be participating in DECA's Party in Pink Zumbathon. Student Congress is also preparing for a canned food drive later this month and blood drive scheduled for November 13th. They are planning a Little Caesars Pizza Kit fundraiser. Lastly, for Student Congress, they will be preparing Thanksgiving baskets fully equipped with an entire Thanksgiving meal for 10 select Lathrop families. In September, the National Honor Society students held their Leadership Week, promoting NHS with a theme for each day. NHS's Eligibility Week students were notified with golden tickets to become members of NHS. NHS members did free face painting for our final Southfield Lathrop homecoming parade and game this past Saturday. They are now preparing for their Boo Rah event on October 23rd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the children in the area. DECA officers will be announced this month Applications for members have been distributed and are due by next week. Southfield Lathrop DECA students presented a $240 check this past Saturday at the Breast Cancer Walk to aid in breast cancer research. DECA has begun their Pink campaign in an effort to raise awareness and help find a cure for breast cancer. The school store is pinked out, the DECA display has been filled with information about breast cancer, and our Party in Pink Zumbathon is just a few things that SL's DECA have prepared for this year's Pink campaign. Senior Antoinette Miller accepted a full-ride athletic scholarship to University of Cincinnati. The football team needs one more win to make the state playoffs, with a record of 5-2 and a league record of 4-2. The volleyball team plays tonight against Avondale. Their record is 3-4. The soccer team and swim team also compete tonight. Soccer against Hazel Park and swim against Avondale High School. Tomorrow, the juniors will take the PSAT. Interns from Michigan State University Law School will present different First Amendment topics every Friday in the month of October for our newspaper, yearbook, and government students. The first card marking ends this Friday, October 16th, and parent-teacher conferences will be held next Thursday, October 22nd. This has been your Charger Report.
Thank you. And Ms. Ginyard, when does the football team play and where? What time?
The football team's next game will be this Friday at Berkeley High School at 5:30, I do believe.
I would please implore the community to come out and support our football team. And then again, Ms. Boyd, Southfield High School football team plays when and where and what time?
They play Oak Park,
Oak Park.
Friday at 6.
Same. Please, community, come out and support your teams. The next student board representative is newly selected to replace Jeremy Bolton, who had to resign due to employment obligations. That's very noble of that young man. And the next speaker you will hear is Ms. Spears from Southfield Regional Academic Campus.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Dr. Linda Wood, central office staff, and administrators.
Good evening.
Southfield Schools staff, parents, students, and guests. My name is Danae Spears, and I am your student board representative from Southfield Regional Academic Campus. There have been a few changes at Southfield Regional. Walls were painted and grounds were beautified, but the biggest change occurred in our administration. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Easton, our new principal, to our learning community. Our theme for this year is based on 4 pillars: attendance, achievement, attitude, and activities. Another addition is the expansion of the Aspire Leadership Academy, which was expanded to include 7th grade students. The first day of school was filled with visitors. Representatives from 16 different colleges and careers presented valuable information to our student body. If you recall, our seniors typically apply to 3 colleges by the end of October. The week of September 21st through 25th, Mrs. Hinsman sponsored a Clean Water for Tanzania fundraiser. All proceeds went to buy biosand water filters for families living in Morogoro. Student Ms. Lambert's class wrote encouraging letters to Tanzania students in connection with their global issue lessons. Mrs. Hinsman will deliver the letters along with a photo to students attending Mokoko Primary. Molly McNeese, Southfield Regional Academic Campus art teacher, will be honored by the Birmingham Bloomfield Art Center at their 2nd annual recognition breakfast on October 30th. Mrs. McNeese is one of the educators involved with the BBAC Art Bridge program. Our Bridge is a comprehensive program that prepares motivated and talented students by building their skills, making sure art fundamentals are well covered, providing college selection guidance, and mentoring and assisting with digital portfolio development and preparation. Before I close, I need to congratulate the 15 Southfield Regional Academic students who participated in the summer enrichment programs held at Wayne State University. 4 of our students placed in all categories, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and Judge's Choice categories at the IPE Residential, Video Gaming, and nursing camps where they earned over $9,000 in scholarship money. We are looking forward to a productive and successful year. Have a good evening, and thank you for your time.
Very good reports from our student representatives, very good. I will now turn this portion of the meeting over to our superintendent.
Thank you, Board President. And good evening, our families, community, and our board for sure this evening. I have had an opportunity over the weekend to do a little traversing through the various parts of Michigan, and one of the things that I just highlighted is how beautiful this time of the year is. And I want to remind our families, our staff, and our community that even in the midst of our very, very busy lives, it's so important, and students too, to slow down just a bit and enjoy the beautiful brushstrokes of color that are a part of this autumn season. Take time to enjoy your family extended connections, and cherish the life we share with each other. And even as students and as parents and as family, those are things that I felt very strong I wanted to just remind all of us in the midst of our lives. Well, September and October have been very full. Curriculum nights, open houses, technology nights, fall harvest events, and so many more opportunities at our schools for families throughout the month of October. One of the things that I also attended was our first school, Southfield Public Schools Area PTA meeting for this year, our Area Council. And I'm so pleased to say I look forward to working with this group to plan events that will support our children and families this year. I'm actually very excited. Additionally, for all of our schools, I'll be coming to each of your PTA and/or PTO meetings at each school, because I want each of our school communities to personally understand how your school may or may not be impacted by Imagine 2020. And it's something special when there's intimate conversations for parents to have a deeper understanding. So for the other important piece is that we have our special education students, we have our ELL students, and I want those parents also to intimately understand how their children will be impacted with Imagine 2020. So with that, the plans for Imagine 2020 are moving forward. I was recently interviewed by University High School junior Royal Bird to launch a new television series called Imagine 2020 Real Talk. And this show will document and highlight the unfolding story, because it's a story this year, that will take place in Southfield Public Schools related to the changes and all of what is moving forward with this initiative. The first show will be aired during the month of October, and we only have a few more weeks before it'll be aired. But there will be an e-blast to notify everyone when this will occur, and it will be on Channel 16, our district website, streaming, and YouTube. And Jackie came to me and she said, I didn't want to tell you, but you're going to be on YouTube soon. And so in any event, I've often said, do not put me up on YouTube, but stay tuned, it's coming. On October 1st, we had our first Southfield Lathrop and Southfield High School student ambassadors representing grades 9 through 12 meet, and they will be assisting us with Imagine 2020. They had wonderful ideas, great questions, and they are ready to be those responsible leaders to assist our school district along with other students as we create a brand new high school that will represent the future and represent all of our children as we move forward. I also, during the month of September, met with our alumni, and we'll have a subcommittee of our Southfield High and Southfield Lathrop alumni join our ambassadors, our parents and staff, and community at large to share and assist with creating the future for Southfield Public Schools and our new high school. At our last board meeting, we provided an update to the board and the community regarding the problems we were experiencing with transportation. I would like for, at this time, Brad Tate and Dennis Gregory, if he's here, both of them, to come to the podium and provide us with an update on what has occurred over the past few weeks to correct many of the problems that our parents and students have experienced at the beginning of the school year, and also to share with some initiatives that will help us as we move forward into the future. And everything has not been resolved, but they're going to update us at this moment.
Good evening, Dr. Wood and board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And members of the audience. As stated, my name is Brad Tate, and I'm a Region Vice President for Durham School Services. And about a month ago, I met before this particular group, and we discussed the transportation issues that had developed since the beginning of school. And one of the things that I had committed to on behalf of the company and to the team locally is that we would stay and we would steer the course through and resolve. And happily, I'm here today to say that many of those items have been addressed. We're still open, ears are open to listen to whatever individual issues. But the biggest thing that it faced the district was just the number of drivers that we had on hand to cover the routes needed. And I can tell you that as of the date that we had projected in September, 78 routes, AM and PM, are running each day to and from the schools within the district, which resolved many of the issues we were experiencing because we were attempting to put more students on fewer buses, which, again, efficient-wise, it's a good plan, but that's not what was needed, and that's not what we needed to do. In addition, we're running 11 midday runs. We're working with the Oakland County ISD to work on the routes currently and for next year as part of the plan that you have laid out for the community. But the biggest thing is just being available to adjust any and all the routes that are, the daily stuff that comes up throughout the year, and I believe we've gotten to that point now. I know, again, there may be individuals that still have some things we need to address, but those are your typical expectations or results. The issues that we had at the beginning of the year have gone, and again, it dealt with drivers. And as I pointed out, the drivers is the key to what we do. We're continuing to recruit. Many of you probably received flyers just last week, and we had quite a spike in just in input or inquiries into us. So
Okay.
very, very excited about that. Staff-wise, we're currently reviewing and interviewing for our GM position. The plan is to present those candidates to the district for your I guess, inspection, if you will. But we'd also like you to be a part of that, and we think it's very important. We're adding a dispatch position who will also serve as a router. So through all this, we've added we're upping our staffing, which I think will be helpful. The other thing was the fleet. Kind of address that some of our buses, I've seen many miles. We brought in additional buses to try to help address that so that we would not have equipment be our issue. And I guess I can segue. One of the things that was asked about is technology at hand, what we can do. Currently, every one of your buses is equipped with what's called a Zonar system. It's basically a GPS unit that's able to identify where that bus is, where it's been, how fast it's going, when it stopped, and all those things in between. One of the other features that we can add to, or there's a company, is what's called their Z-Pass. And what it allows to do is, it's basically like your swipe keys when you come into a building. It allows you to identify what students have gotten on and then ultimately when they get off the bus. So one of the things we're proposed to offer to you today is we'd like to do a pilot program, add a few of those with your assistance, because there is a card management piece to it that we need a lot of assistance with. But it'll allow us to better track who's on the bus, who gets on, gets off, and so if there's questions or concerns of who's riding your buses, we can better tell you versus just relying on me physically or me knowing you personally.
Well, thank you very much. And the whole piece with identifying who's on the bus as best we can is something that I've been very concerned about. And so bringing in and piloting the Zonar and that electronic system is something I'm interested in. It's something that will be no cost to us to pilot. But at the same time, it will give us information and insight. And if it's something that is good for our district and the safety and the security of all of our children, it's something that I would like to present to the board in the future. So with that, I thank you. Dennis, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Dr. Wood. Good evening. Just like to add that, Durham has really stepped up, brought in additional help, brought in additional drivers, brought in additional buses, extra mechanics and so on. They've really put in a lot of time. I know I've been over here the weekends, and they're working both Saturday and Sunday a lot of times, and a lot of late nights to get things straightened out. So they've really, put forth a 150% effort to get things right, and I'm sure we're going to get to the point where everything is squared away. So I just want to thank them for all the input they did to help us out.
Thank you, Dennis. And I do know about many of the late nights, the long weekends, because I actually joined you on a few of those. So, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. Board, is there anything you'd like to ask or questions?
I don't have a question, but certainly a comment directed to the superintendent, which is just the Z-Pass concept is something appealing to me. I believe, probably would be cheaper and maybe equally as effective as cameras, because cameras sometimes can only look in a certain direction, and they're very costly to put on every bus, and sometimes more than one. And so I'm asking, I guess, is it similar to when you go to conferences and you walk in the room and it tracks you that way?
Frequency identification.
Yeah, because it's saying RFID. And I think it would be great to have for students who are responsible, but of course we would vet out, you would vet out, excuse me, how that all will work out, but seems promising.
Thank you. I think so too. And I look forward to getting more information about that and testing it in our district. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, I got a call, it's been a couple weeks or so ago, from a parent, special needs parent.
Yes.
And I cringed because I couldn't take the call right away. And the message I got initially was just a frantic parent. But when I called the parent back, she was just elated with the way that Durham had handled the situation.
Good.
So I'll go into more detail at a later time, but she couldn't say anything bad about the situation, which could have been really a bad situation to deal with. So,
thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Thank you so much. All right, board, the last part of my presentation is I'd like to bring Lauren O'Leary to the podium. And Lauren is our public relations assistant, and we have a health fair coming up. And Lauren is going to give us information about our upcoming health fair.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, cabinet, and Southfield Public Schools community. I wanted to share with you an exciting event coming up Saturday, October 24th. We are having our 4th annual Health and Wellness Fair at Southfield Lathrop High School. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The fair is open to the entire community, and it is there's no charge. And this year we are offering free flu shots, blood pressure screenings, BMI assessments, hearing and pediatric dental screenings, and other valuable health services. There will also be free massages, healthy snacks, and the opportunity to win a Nintendo game system, among other prizes. Also, all SPS students who attend will receive a free dress down day at school. So we know it will be a wonderful event, and we look forward to seeing you there. And if you haven't already gotten a flyer, please pick one up in the lobby on your way out. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And board, that concludes my report. I'm going to now turn it over to cabinet, and I believe Ms. Vicki Hall is first.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. The personnel report is included in the consent agenda for your review and approval. But I'd like to take this opportunity, if I might, just to introduce some new staff to our team. One more rousing applause for Harry Patton, who is the assistant dean at University High School. We also have in our presence Mr. Scott Toko, who is the assistant principal at Southfield High School. And very near and dear to me in human resources, we have coming back to us Shamir Taylor. Shamir?
Stand back.
Thank you. That concludes my report this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, Board members. How are you this evening?
Good evening. All right.
So this evening, I have a very short report with 3 items to give you some information about as we move into this academic year. So there will be 3 sections of the report. First, I'm going to talk about the Southfield Public Schools Project ABC, which is our freshman transition and intervention program that we're actually beginning this year. The second is to talk about the master schedule adjustments at the high school level, and then the kindergarten classroom challenges that we've had in the district and now resolving. So Project ABC. This is a really, really exciting initiative because it is actually combining 2 things that we've talked about at the last 2 board study sessions, our special education initiatives and our counseling support services. So in September we talked about the fact that because of our suspensions, we had to put aside some money to do some work here in the district. And so we are working and combining that work with our counseling services to really support our 9th grade students as they transition into 9th grade to make sure that they are actually on task and on target to matriculate through the high school in a timely fashion. And so the grant is called the Coordinated Early Intervening Services, or CEIS program grant. And really it brings special ed and counseling together by doing 3 things. First, we want to focus upon attendance, improving attendance, that's the A, behavior, reducing suspensions for students and referrals, and course credit attainment, basically making sure that we reduce the course failure for at-risk 9th grade students here in both of our high schools. And so really the goal, the object is to divert this need for special education services for students in the high school, at the high school level. So that is the overall plan objective. Our target is 10% of the 9th grade students at Southfield High School and Southfield Lathrop High School. So that's about 30 students at each high school in the 9th grade. So during this first semester, students will be identified in the remaining months of the semester, and 20 to 24 students will be enrolled in an intervention course second semester for the remainder of the year, while the other students who have been identified will actually be monitored. Their ABCs, their attendance, their behavior, and their course credit will be monitored. What does it look like? Well, we want to hire a licensed social worker or counselor to work with each principal, our teachers, and our parents of identified 9th grade students who are actually having challenges. Those students will meet with the CEIS counselor, for lack of a better term right now, to actually develop case plans and their caseload for the first semester. Individualized plans for students in intervention, not just a one-size-fits-all, but literally working with each of these individual students. During the second semester, those students who really need intervention will be placed in a course. That course will be first hour at Southfield High School, and that course will meet last hour at Southfield Lathrop High School. So in the first half of the day, every day, these students would meet with the counselor in a course that talks about all of the life skills and all of the study skills that are needed to be successful. And then they will monitor those students for the first half of the day at Southfield High School. In the afternoon, the counselor will go to Southfield Lathrop High School, and he or she will meet with the students there and then have a course last hour sort of to conclude the day for the students at Southfield Lathrop who are also in the course. The goal really is to keep them on task and on target every day, not just to sort of check in and check out, but literally those students who need additional support would be sort of identified with the principal and counselors and teachers of 9th grade students to really intervene in their lives. So that is the CEIS program, and we really are excited about it because it could be a model for our 9th grade academy moving forward next year. We really believe that because that transition year is so important for our students that we have to put this extra support there, and we've set aside the money to do that this year in a grant. So this is not any addition to our general fund. These are grant dollars that will actually be used for this purpose.
Any questions from the board?
No question, just a comment. I just applaud your efforts for that. I mean, I think that is just so important and so critical for our students to be able to be successful, and it's a very proactive approach. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it unfold and seeing how it develops into next year, into the Imagine 2020.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes, Mr. Lopez, are we involving our parents in the process as well? Because that's very critical, that they play a part in the intervention of their children's education. Are we doing that?
That is critical. So, Mrs. Robinson, parents have to be our partners in this work because when there's a homeschool continuum, schools work well with students. It's when there's a disconnect with home that does not really occur the way that it should. And so making parents our partner is a critical part of this whole thing, which is why this counselor actually has to have time and a small enough caseload to actually meet with parents and to meet with students and to meet with teachers to do that work. So yes, ma'am.
Sounds great. That's great. Good job.
Go right ahead.
So the second two are just updates about issues that have occurred with the master schedules at the various high schools due to enrollment. So what we saw at the beginning of the school year over the last 4 weeks is that Southwood High School is actually 94 students above projection. Southfield Lathrop is 106 students below projections, and Southfield Regional Academic Campus was 76 students below projections. So that literally led to some overages in classes at Southfield High School and some under-enrolled classes at Southfield Lathrop and Southfield Regional Academic Campus. So what we did is we really looked at the challenges that were there, with working in concert with the principals to really sort of identify, and the counselors to identify what was going on. So because of the increased curricular requirements for the state for foreign language, Spanish teachers were just very difficult to hire. We're working on that, but there is now a 2-year graduation requirement for Spanish. And additionally, core academic classes at Southfield High, some were over the course limit. And so those were social studies courses, English courses, and science courses, as you see listed. At Southfield Lathrop, we also discovered that there were some classes that were below the contractual limit, but needed some adjustments. And at Southfield Regional Academic Campus, the same thing because of the fewer students that were present. So what we did is we simply did this. We reallocated teachers to cover needed areas at Southfield Lathrop High School in Spanish, the IB courses and the electives that were there, and reduced the overall FTE of teachers by 1.2. So that means literally 1.2 FTEs less at the school because they had less students in the classrooms. In addition, at Southfield Regional Academic Campus, because of the reduced number of students, we reduced by 2.4 FTEs for teachers at that school. And we reallocated them to Southfield High School to actually meet the overages in those courses. What we discovered, though, even after we reallocated those teachers, that the class sizes for 9th and 10th graders, which are really critical years, some were still over the academic limit, or the course limit that's in the CBA, as well as just not great for purposes of academic achievement for our students. And so we brought to the board last week that we were seeking to hire 2 more FTEs, one in social studies to cover the overages in American history, world history, and English in 9th and 10th grade, and one to cover the biology and chemistry or physics that were over the course limits. And so we're in the process of hiring those teachers right now so that we can really make sure that we are managing the students well. What I would like to say is we acknowledge that there are challenges and have been challenges with the master schedules with the 9th grade students because of this unanticipated enrollment spike at one school and the diminishment at the other school, but we're really working very hard to make sure that those are alleviated, and we are not penalizing students who are being moved because of it. So parents should not be concerned about the fact that their student may have started a course late or with another teacher, because those students will not be penalized for being moved into another section to reduce class size.
So I understand we did hire a Spanish teacher, right, at Lathrop?
We did.
Any other questions from the board?
I have a question.
Trustee Smith?
The students that moved, well, that we lost at Lathrop but went up at Southfield, are any of those students the same students that were once at Lathrop and went over to Southfield?
So many of them are, yes. We also, really quickly, we also have a lot of students who come back from charter schools at the 9th grade level, and we can never account for that number. They just come in, and we have had them enrolling even through last week. And so the goal really is to make sure that we're managing that work well and that we're transitioning students well. And if there are challenges, again, the CEIS program will begin to handle some of those issues.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez.
Then the last issue is kindergarten classroom enrollment. So we also had some challenges with bulging enrollments, which is a good problem to have at Stevenson and McIntyre. And so what we did is, as you see the numbers there, are above the contractual limit of 27 in kindergarten, but also just not great numbers for students at the kindergarten level. And so what we did is we reallocated a teacher from another school and opened a 3rd classroom at Stevenson Elementary, I was about to Stevenson High School, Stevenson Elementary. And so as you see, the class is diminished appreciably at Stevenson High School. But the classes at McIntyre remained at 30. So what we did is we really attempted to have parents move voluntarily from McIntyre Elementary. We sent a letter to kindergarten parents asking them to move to MacArthur Elementary. We sent a letter to kindergarten parents, again, asking for voluntary movement to Stevenson. And then we had an open house where the 3 teachers and the principal at Stevenson really laid out the carpet for our parents. But we only still had 1 student who actually agreed to go to MacArthur as a result thereof. So there will be some involuntary movement of about 5 students coming up. And we just wanted to make parents aware that we did it based upon their enrollment dates after the beginning of the school year, as well as those who enrolled later than a certain time. So we actually went, it's really not the best thing because we don't want to move children at this late stage, but we also don't want children to be in a class of 30 students at such a critical year in kindergarten. So we really wanted to make sure that we are optimizing the learning environment for our students. So at the end of the day, when these 5 or 6 students are moved from McIntyre Elementary, that will be the resultant class sizes for the students that are there, and those notifications will go out tomorrow with parents. I will make personal phone calls to parents per the direction of the superintendent, and we will have those students moved by Monday of next week.
Questions?
I do have a question. I just have all the questions tonight.
That's good.
What are the possible impacts of that type of involuntary move?
I understand.
And then also, will those parents have the opportunity to move back to McIntyre for 1st grade if they so choose? If we need to have this discussion later, we can, if there's more information.
What I will say is that we can engage in some additional conversation for sure, but kindergarten and moving kindergarten students is a hard one. And I think we all know that, and Mr. Lopez knows that. We have had many conversations about that. Even the invitation to McIntyre parents to voluntarily move, and it didn't result in any. And you struggle. You struggle with, do you keep all those children in that same classroom because the parents wish to be there, or because no one wishes to move, but at the same time, knowing that the movement of a few would bring a little bit better comfort and learning environment for all. So so what I will say, and I've said this to Mr. Lopez, is that we will have some personal conversations. We have to go and extend, just talk to our parents and help them to understand why this is happening. And I will say that as hard as it is, these are some of the hard things we have to do. And we'll hold hands, and if anyone wishes to return to McIntyre in the 1st grade, I welcome that. And we'll have more conversation around it, but I welcome that. I think that concludes Mr. Lopez's report, and I thank you, Mr. Lopez. And I also want to thank Ms. Bart, too, because Ms. Bart was very much a part of the entire articulation regarding the intervention for 9th grade and obtaining the funding to ensure that that program was available for us to implement. So thank you both. Thank you both. That concludes all of our reports for this evening.
Okay. We will now have our Head Start report from our Vice President, Ms. Trustee Charles.
Thank you. I'm quietly very happy with that slide, so I just let it sit up there for a second longer. It's like it's so fitting.
It is fit.
So the director's report and also the financials will be following this. And let's see. 217 are currently enrolled. I'm sure they're quietly making their way on it. 217 are currently enrolled in the program. 140 are on our waiting list currently, and we have 8 for drops. The Child Adult Care Food Program meals served 1,054 breakfast, 1,249 lunch, 1,074 snacks. The new hires, I guess, will go under personnel update, is Ms. Green for the Lamb Room, Mrs. Williams for the Dinosaur Room, and Mrs. Dorwin for the Blue Dog Room. We had some staff resignations, Nikisha Farmer, Caitlin Bieber, and Christine Phillips. Vacancies to fill: 1 Head Start teacher and 1 Great Start Readiness Program. I was trying to remember that RP. Thank you. There are health updates. 10 children need vision screenings, 15 children need hearing screenings, and 25 children need dental screenings. The Oakland County Health Department came out the week of September 28th to conduct vision screenings for 4-year-olds. 9 children were identified with needing a referral and a follow-up. And currently, there are 14 children with IEPs, 9 under the Head Start heading, 5 under GSRP, and then 4 speech referrals have been submitted. The Office of Head Start is here this week, or was there last week, conducting class observations. This is the tool that the Office of Head Start uses to access adult-child interactions, to assess those in classroom management. There was an update on the 5-year strategic plan that Ms. Hill provided to ensure fiscal accountability and strong fiscal management, working on completing fiscal manual. Arrange training for Policy Council and the Board on fiscal roles will occur during the governance training in November. Provide services that are responsive to the changing needs of children and families in the community based on systematic analysis of data and funding priorities, and that is complete. Establish and enhance effective collaboration alliances to maintain services, supports, and resources for families. So they've got the kindergarten crawl, BUSSY teachers and SPS teachers meet bi-monthly to collaborate and discuss school readiness goals. Currently working with the SPS McKinley Veto Coordinator for those families currently experiencing homelessness. Strengthen behavior and mental support, health support for teachers and parents. They have currently identified support services to assist with mental health, waiting on the approval from the governing board to utilize those services. Following the ERSIA policies and procedures as set aside by the grantee, policy has been revised and provided training for staff, governing board, and ERSIA policy council members. Program manager and support staff have received extensive training. There's 2 more. Create PFCE action plan, currently working with Scott Elliott on establishing goals and measuring outcomes. 2 goals have been identified for 2015-2016, which is positive parent-child relationships and families as learners. Change the composition of the classroom to teachers to reflect Head Start teacher requirements. In other words, we'll set meetings to discuss with superintendent and the human resources team to get that going. And then move the facility to provide additional space for preschool-age children and families. That is in process. So all of those were a part of the update on the 5-year strategic plan. There's plenty more information that Ms. Hill can provide for the community and board. You received from me this week, might have been late last week, just the packet. Mr. Joyce was at that meeting as well. That had a few communications with regards to the mandated reporting of child abuse and neglect. And I'm segueing into the financial report so it can be seamless for you, Ron. And supervision and transitions of students. And so those were communications that all came down from the Office of Head Start, and it's Fern Katz, if I hear her in my ears saying, we must tell about the numbers. So Kate Dankovich is in the office. She provided this wonderful PowerPoint, and, oh, it's here on my thing, thanks. So the direct federal program support, or the total resources for the program, are as follows. You can see the pie chart in the blue. Those things are obviously the larger segment of what comes in. The next slide is fine, which is teaching staff. This is the $1.3 million, the direct federal program support. So that's teaching of staff, program direction, supervision, and administration, classroom supplies and materials, staff and family training development, and portions of the building's operational costs are comprised in that $1.3 million. From there, we go to the in-kind, which is $330,000. This is super important because it's a joint effort of family, community, and school district. The next slide will reflect that in more depth with regard to how the parents can really give back to their schools. I won't read each of those bullets, but certainly their time is valuable. The classroom or link sheet support is $9 an hour. And there's some other increments there, but the nice thing is that policy council meetings, parents and members of the community earned $56 towards the grant in terms of the in-kind. So we always want to encourage our parents and community members to take some time out and get involved with that. And it goes on to say that. I think there's another slide. The district's in-kind, this is what the school district pays into that pie that you saw earlier. Of course, the building use, a lot of the blended teachers, the speech and health services, administrative, all of those kinds of things really do comprise of the $227,000. And the target for the in-kind for the community at large, that's folks who do not have students currently in the building, is $29,000. And so there's a lot of ways that you can get involved with that, participating in events. There's a few dozen that are actually happening in the next 30 days, so definitely check out Bussy, call Ms. Hill, she'd be happy to give you that paperwork as far as all the events, and so we can earn up to that $29,000. We can blow past that $29,000. They don't mind if you raise more. So with that, I believe that concludes both the financial and the director's report.
Thank you, Trustee Charles, for that fine report. We will now move into action items, and these are items that require action by the board. I'd ask for a motion to open the consent agenda.
I move that we open report number 5422, personnel action report, roll 7.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? As you well see there, the personnel report, you can read through it on your leisure. And then there's action items, minutes from our August 28th and August 29th special board meeting, board retreat, and then our September 8th regular board meeting. With that, Ms. Secretary, call for the vote.
Okay. Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you. I'd ask for a motion to open report number 5423. That's a recommendation to approve professional architectural services and fee approval.
I move we open report 5423.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion? I'll turn it over to Dr. Wood for a little background.
Sure. I will ask Mr. Lopez to just provide another little quick summary of that as you did the other night.
Okay.
Sure. Good evening again. Mark McBride is an architect, and we're just simply asking to add him to our professional services fees for the renovations that will take place at Southfield Lathrop and Southfield High School. He actually is very cost-effective, and he actually has his own private company to work with us directly to make sure that all of our needs are being met.
Okay.
And I definitely apologize. I thought I had a firm understanding of all of the language of that document, but I just want to ask these services that it's referring to with the 28,000.
Yes.
Dr. Wood, is that for consultation and document making?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the blueprints.
I was hoping we could get it lower, but it's understandable in this day and age, and you want it done right.
Yeah.
And lower isn't always equal to better. So I trust in your judgment in that.
Yeah, for all of that.
Yeah, for all of that.
Okay. Moving right along to informational items. These are items that do not require, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for that correction. Madam Secretary, if there's no further discussion, call for the vote.
Trustee Charles? Yes. Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Thank you. As I so rush to information items. These are items that do not require action by the board, and this will be our bill summary. And the Vice President always gets on me. If she doesn't say it, I'm sure she wants me to say it. Our payroll account for the September through September 18th and October 2nd is $3.2 million. Other total disbursements, $2.2 million. Accounts payable, our total accounts payable for that time frame is $3.2 million. Then we had other cash disbursements by funds, various funds, that came to total cash disbursements of $8.7 million. So it takes a lot to run this district. I hope everyone understands that, and please read through it and pass it along to those in the need to know. Item 7, public participation. Only those persons with concerns related to school matters may participate during the public participation portion of the meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. Comments may be referred to an administrator or the superintendent for follow-up. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention persons by name. Complaints concerning employees should be brought to the attention of school principal, or other administrators before coming to the board. Your cooperation is appreciated. First person tonight is Gabe Neal. Yes. Our students can go. Leave if you want to.
If you want to, you can leave.
While we wait for that person, we'll go ahead. Miss Laura, and I don't want to mess that last part. Liaise. Thank you. Nope, to the mic, please. Thank you.
Oh, I think that's Gabe. Is that Gabe?
Hi, good evening, board. My name is Laura Laise. I'm a resident here in Southfield. My son's currently 3.5 years old, and I was dealing with OLSA, as I'm sure you're familiar with. It's a Head Start program. Upon doing so, I ran into some issues, and I had started his enrollment process back in June. The reason I'm coming to you as a board is because, in fairness to my son, we had started the enrollment process in a different city based on OLSA giving me a referral. I then wasn't told until 2 days before school started that my son was not going to be able to partake in said program because of the fact that as Southfield, we do not release students to other school areas or other cities, I'm saying, in the county of Oakland. So I guess what I'm asking from you is what are we doing as a board, or what can we do with these children? As I see, we have a waiting list now of 140 students. My son got caught up in the middle of someone not talking to whomever, and now I have a child that's not going to be getting pre-kindergarten. So that's a big issue for me as a parent. So I'm wondering what we're going to be doing, or what can we do, because at this point I'm being told until Southfield Board of Education offers any kind of waivers, there's nothing that can be done about this.
Well, yeah. What I can share with you is I'd love to speak with you briefly at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
I am familiar with ULSA, and I
Okay.
do know that there is a separate entity
Right.
outside of Southfield for Head Start.
Right.
And so consequently, I just need to make sure that I contact our Head Start person, get a little bit more of the details.
Absolutely.
And make sure. I think it's a little bit more than what meets the eye. And I think there's two entities that may not be necessarily communicating.
Well,
and
yeah, and
different
I-
standards and expectations, and I do apologize.
Well,
that
and
your
the thing is,
child-
I've gone as far as the director. I don't want to get into names or anything. I've actually spoken with the admin already here in Southfield that heads up the program in the designated school, Boosie. And at this point, because of the timing, my son did not get into school here in Southfield. And she's told me this, I'm not the only parent that has this issue. So that's a great concern to me, because children are being left behind when it comes to education. And we as a community, you know, and as a parent, I want to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen.
Well, thank you, and I'll speak with you at the end of the meeting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Wood.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dow.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
And of course, community. Mr. Dial, Qantas Dial, 24555 Lee Baker Drive. Of course, the board knows ahead of time that I'm here representing Adler Elementary School. And actually, today I actually almost was going to jump up and down, because for the last month, maybe a little more, I've been saying that we're going to run into a problem where we do not have enough classrooms for all these students. And Mr. Lopez's report kind of validated what I've been saying. We are trying to shuffle just to fit the students we got right now. And we're going to close 2 more schools full of the same students we're trying to shuffle right now to put in. Why not give Adler at least another year? At least 1 more year, so that you can figure out where all these students are going to go. You have that extra space. We could take a few of those students, so you don't have to, well, try to squeeze a teacher from here to put them in there. Adler's a viable building, great teachers, great reputation. It's right here. It's already there. Y'all don't have to do all the extra juggling. And then next year is going to be even worse, because y'all got 1,000 students to fit into spots instead of the extra 6 that you're going to have to force now. I mean, it's right here, y'all. Numbers are, there is nothing other than numbers. Come on. There's one true thing that's completely honest all the time. And we're running into the problem now, just because you mentioned you closing schools, what happens when you do not have those classrooms for the students? All right?
I just have to share one thing, you know, I always do. And one of the things I just wanted to clarify is that the reason Stevenson and McIntyre are in this conversation is because they're very close in proximity. And both of those schools do have a high number of students enrolled in kindergarten. But I could go to a few other schools and we have 17 slots open and available at the kindergarten level. So all I'm saying is that the presentation tonight did not give the whole picture of the district. And at a previous meeting you were at, I believe I shared that we have more than just a few slots open at the K-5 level. So it is something that we'll continue to talk about, continue to highlight, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't let you leave with the impression that that was the only availability at the elementary level.
No, it's not that I thought that was the only availability. I'm keeping my time this time, keeping an eye on it. It's just that I do want to keep on saying it.
Certainly.
I want y'all to understand, well, and I know y'all do, that Adler's viable. It has no of the reasons that you would close a school. It does not have any of those. It's not underutilized. It's not failing. It's got a strong community presence. So even if you just give us one more year to prove how great a school that is, we'll be more than happy to be there and show y'all what a gem Adler is.
Mr. Dowd, I appreciate that. At least you're offering us some solutions.
Definitely.
Other than coming and complaining. So we appreciate that. We will take it under advisement and look at it again.
All right, thank
I
you.
absolutely appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sharon Neal.
Good evening, board and audience. My name is Sharon Neal, and I'm a second-generation parent to my grandson. And one thing that was offered recently was the Saturday enrichment program that he desperately needed. And they say that, also you mentioned that you provide laptops and computers and things that are not accessible right now to my grandson, and we don't have a computer. But when I went to go to enroll him into the programs, I was stopped because of a $50 cost per class that me being a single grandmother parent, I don't have. And he needs the enrichment classes. I want to know if you plan on in the future offering some type of classes for students that are not able to pay that $50 or have a grant allotted so that this will enable children. These are children that need intervention now. They're in the 7th grade. We need it to be enforced to the 9th grade. But the program that you all have that you're going to do in the 9th grade, trust me, you need it for the 7th and the 8th grade to prepare them when they go to school. Once they get there, it's going to be kind of hard to let them go. I mean, they're going to, I'm just going to be real with you. So we need something to plan. And I'm a parent. I'm a product of a Southfield. My children graduated from the school system, and so now I'm met with the blessing of raising another child. And I'm willing to give up my time. If you have that Head Start daycare, volunteers, or your Hardin Park time, I'm ready. Whatever I can do and bring my skills. And Betty Robinson will tell you, her children well grown, and I was their latchkey mom. Okay, so I will be participant, I will be active. I will encourage even other Southfield citizens to come and join us. All we need to know is we need to know how to do it and when you're going to do it.
Well, I appreciate your extension of help and your concern, and I also wanted to share with you that our Saturday program is something that we do have to charge for, but in the K-5 and K-8 buildings, all of them have Title I programming throughout the course of the school year, and at the end of the program, I'd like for you to speak with Almadine right here in the pink, because I'd like to see what school and when their Title I program is opening up, and it sounds like your grandchild would be a candidate for that type of programming that is at the school and will be offered in many of the buildings after school programming too.
Yes, I'm preparing him for success.
Well, that's a good thing.
And that's why he came tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all missed him, Gaten Neal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Solomon?
Good evening. I've been to a lot of the recent meetings and things like that, and I went to a parent meeting about the 2020, and I've been to the alumni meeting for the 2020. I have a freshman at Southfield High School, and a lot of the talk has been about raising test scores and things like that. My son is a freshman, and he's in algebra, and has had a substitute teacher for the entire school year so far. And so my concern is about raising these test scores and him not having a teacher.
I understand. Do you want me to respond? No, I appreciate you coming, because I do remember you from other meetings. And it grieves my heart also that there is a substitute teacher in that classroom. And we have been working diligently to get a certified algebra teacher for that class. And we're still working on that. But what I will say, this is not the first time that has happened at the beginning of a school year where some of the core content areas that we work so hard, physics, mathematics, science, if we have teachers in those areas, we welcome you. But what we can do is, there's some things that I might be able to do very shortly to assist for those students who have been in a classroom with a sub for a long period of time. So I will speak with Mr. Lopez, and then I'll make sure that he has your name and number, because I don't want that either. And I want to be able to help support children who have had, this is now 5 weeks of the beginning part of algebra that I desperately know they need support in, as well as what can be done at the school, or what can we augment with.
Right, because this happened to him in 4th grade, where he had a substitute for almost the whole year.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's something that I've seen where I'm told that people are on leaves of absences and things like that, but the children still need to learn.
And I hear you, I hear you. We had the conversation in Cabinet yesterday about the very same thing you just described, and the impact on that year of learning.
Right.
And so it is on our heart, and we're working to help resolve in the midst of the contractual conditions that we have to work within.
Okay. Right, thank you.
Thank you,
Well, thank you. I will now move into board matters. Trustee Smith?
Yes, I would just like to echo all of the congratulations that were expressed earlier. I happened to, as it was mentioned, was able to attend the Lathrop High homecoming game, and that was a great game. My daughter enjoyed it a lot. They really blew them out. 61-24, was it? 26. Well, it was still 61 was Lathrop. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty awesome to see. And just to our band that was here, and also to Southfield, who also won their homecoming game, I just want to extend those congratulations. Also, the Celebrity Readers Program, which I'm a huge advocate for. I've already signed up, so I know that they are currently seeking volunteers. Go to the Southfield website and sign up. It only takes an hour of any given day to be a volunteer, to go out, show our students that reading and literacy is important, and you'll have a great time. They'll welcome you with open arms. I'm looking forward. I always go to MacArthur, so. Oh, she left. But I look forward to going back over there with my kindergarten friends. And then lastly, as you all know or should know, we will be voting in a couple of weeks. So if you are registered to vote, which everyone who is of age in the room, hopefully you are, I strongly encourage that you take the time to know who the leaders are that are running to represent us, and go and find out who they are. Learn as much as you can, learn about them. There will be several candidate forums coming up right here in the community, actually one tomorrow, and all of next week. And I just encourage you to be an informed voter. Our community is changing. Our community needs us. The future of our children needs us to be diligent and informed voters. So that concludes my board matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee?
I yield.
Trustee Lewis?
I have nothing tonight.
Trustee Poole?
No comment.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes, I just want to apologize to the audience and board and staff for being late. This is so unlike me to be late, but most of you who know me know that I've recently retired And people will tell me, well, once you're retired, you lose track of the dates, the times, or whatever. And I just totally forgot about this meeting. But it won't come again. I'm free, and I'm just doing what I want to do. You know, it just don't matter. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Charles?
I'll take my $5 now.
I wasn't going to show up.
Because I knew you forgot. So it's like she forgot. But no, I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Before I make my comments, Mr. Neal, are you in the room? Come to the mic. He wants us to speak. He has some comments for public participation. Good job.
Oh, I'm Gabriel Neal. I just had one question. Why is there like school uniforms?
Good question. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Nana. It's like, I believe that some people, I think we should be allowed to wear what we want to wear as long as there's a limit to it. It's like something, as long as it's appropriate for school.
Well, I guess I'll be the one to share a few insights on that. I'll say two things about school uniforms. Number one, it saves your mom and your dad a little extra money because they don't have to spend all that extra money on a lot of different clothes, okay? That's one thing. But secondly, it puts a focus on just the learning. We're not focused on, you know, and sometimes with young boys and girls, oh, I like what you have on. And then you go home and say, Mommy, can I have that? So it puts a focus on learning and not on what you're wearing. And we really want you to be successful academically. And so anything that we can do to help funnel that focus is what we're trying to do. So that's one of the two things that were part of the conversation when the decision was made to have uniforms at the K-5 level.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job, Gabriel. Dear community members, as your elected school board officials, you have entrusted us with the oversight of our district's public schools. We take this responsibility very seriously. From selecting and employing the superintendent to setting curriculum and addressing transportation needs, concerns of the school board are numerous and complex. Just as we expect our schools to have highly qualified teachers, principals, and superintendents who meet state and national expectations for certifications and continuing educations, citizen school board members must develop an understanding of effective school governance and remain current on issues impacting education to ensure effective management of our public schools. Today's K-12 education issues are increasingly complex and are regularly being modified. Once we think we have it right, they change the rules on us, by the state and federal legislators. 2/3 of Michiganders believe formal training for school board members is important for effective school governance, and we wholeheartedly agree. To this end, an investment in our district future, the Southfield Public School District is sending board trustees Yolanda Charles, Michael Poole, Betty Robinson, Leslie Love Smith, Darrell Joyce, and myself to the Michigan Association of School Boards Annual Leadership Conference for board member certification classes. While there, the 6 of us will have access to extensive educational opportunities, including sessions on effective practices currently happening in schools, solutions sharing with education leaders from around the state, and one-on-one time with school-related vendors. Additional information is available at www.masb.org. We look forward, as we always do, to sharing our experiences at a future board meeting. And if you have any questions and/or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact us. And with that, announcement, future board meetings. Tuesday, October 20th at 6:30 is a study session right here. Tuesday, October 27th, 6 p.m., we have student hearings, and we all see who needs to be at the hearings. Wednesday, October 28th, Adler Elementary and Brace Latterly K-8 parent meeting at Lathrop Village, City Hall. Thursday, Friday, November 5th through the 6th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is our Head Start Joint Governance Training. Tuesday, November 10th will be our next regular board meetings. I'd ask for a motion to go into closed session.
I move that we go into closed session.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. We will now enter closed session. Thank you for attending the meeting tonight.
Don't eat all the chocolate.